Hi, I'm going to show you how in just a few minutes you can start getting metric data out of your application using the Heart gem. Heart is a recently released gem which will allow you to quickly graph and visually analyze your data. So, how do you get started? Well, it's pretty simple. First, all you need to do is install the gem Heart into your Rails app. I've got a Rails app here which is just a fake store that allows me to take orders. So I'm going to open up my gem file and I'm going to put in the gem for Heart, and I'm going to fix it to the 0.1 release, which is the first release of the Heart gem. And then I'm going to run bundle install, and it will install all the gems for me. There we go. Everything's in there. Heart has been installed. And next, based on the documentation, which is all up on GitHub, by the way, it says I need to rakedb migrate. So I'm going to bundle execute rakedb migrate to make sure that all the Heart tables are in my application. So what's next? It looks like the only other thing we have to do is mount the Rails engine into our Rails app, and all you have to do to make that happen is go into your routes.rb file and mount the Heart engine on some path, which we're going to mount it on Heart. So now if I open up another tab in my iTerm, and I'm going to change directory into my project, and then I'm going to start a Rails server here. There we go. There's web booting. And when I navigate my localhost to my server and go to Heart, I should see the Heart landing page. And there it is. So we already have Heart mounted in our app and it's working. And oh, whoops, look at there. We don't actually have any metrics. So it's telling us we haven't done anything other than install it. So how do you create your own metrics? Well, it's quite simple. There are two ways. One, you could either install a gem that already has metrics designed for whatever software that you're using. You can prepackage your metrics into gems and share them with other people. Or you can follow these simple instructions like I'm doing right now. And the first thing I said was I needed to create a Heart folder in my lib directory, which I did. And then I need to create a module in my Heart directory, and I'm just going to call this Acme Store because I'm just making up some fake store here. And go into this Acme Store RB file, and I'm just going to copy in all that example code in the documentation. And now, if you bear with me, let me see if I can edit this module Acme Store, and I'm going to set the fetch method to Acme Store orders new because I want to count all the new orders per day in my little store application. And I'm going to set the attribute, the new metric attribute that I'm creating right now, which is Acme Store orders new. I'm going to set it to a value from whatever source that I'm going to actually get that value from. In this case, I'm getting the value from an order model, which I have in my Acme Store code. And I'm just going to say wherever orders were paid at on a particular day, I want to count how many orders were paid on that day. So that seems pretty simple. Next, I'm going to create a migration file so that way I can actually add this metric to the Heart system. And I'm just going to do a regular Rails generate migration, and I'm going to add Acme Store orders new to Heart metrics. That could really be named just about anything. It doesn't really matter. But what I really want to do is just take this migration file that Rails generated for me, and I want to move it into the lib directory. And the reason I'm doing that is just to keep both my metric definitions and my migrations in the same folder so it's easy to remember what was what, how it went together. And Heart allows you to do that because it maps all the migration files in the lib Heart directory as if it were part of your regular migration. So when you run db migrate, it will pick this up. You won't have to worry about doing anything special. So now I'm going to add in this code straight from the documentation that says I need to have something that migrates both the heart metrics table and the heart isometrics table. It's not really important to know why you have to do both of those, but the only thing that's really important is that the heart isometrics needs to be a date time, while the heart metrics table can be integer or any type of value that you're going to be aggregating your metric into. And I just need it to be an integer right now because I'm counting the number of orders per day. So that's that. So now that I created my migration file and have it in my folder, the next thing to do is run my migration. So I'm going to bundle execute rake db migrate, and let's see if it picks it up. And there it was. So it picked up the migration file that was in my libheart directory, the one that I just created. So great. That looks like I've done everything that I need to do, other than actually getting the metric data into the heart table. So now I'm just going to copy this command, which is a rake task that heart provides us. That it fetches all. What that does is it fetches all the metrics that have been defined. It fetches the values for any particular range of dates. So we only have one metric defined right now. It's only really going to call this one metric. But let's see. I'm going to run it from January 1st to February 1st. Oops. Oh. Looks like I did something wrong here. Oh, okay. What I did is it's telling me that I did not properly send the to date. So I'm going to have to change this and add the to date equals 2013-201. That's what I wanted to run. Okay, and heart lets me know that it called that fetch method for each one of those dates. Great. So it looks like it did exactly what I wanted it to do. All right. After that, you could cache all your moving averages, but I'm not going to worry with that in this video for today. So I'm just going to refresh here. And when I look down here, there's my metric, the one that we just created. And I'm going to click that, and I'm going to move the calendar back to January 1st of this year, because that's when I have some data in my database for this Acme store. And I'm going to graph it, and there we go. There's the data. It's all graphed, and hovering over the points, we can see some more information about those. And up here in the top right, there's a shareable link. So I can actually copy this and send this an email or give it to anyone, and they can get a direct link to the graph that I'm looking at with the exact date ranges that I'm looking at right now. It actually keeps track of the type of chart I am. So I could do a bar chart or a line chart with points or without filling, with or without filling. And I could also export this graph as an image, so I could save this image file and share it in other places. It looks like my image has got the translation is missing. So one other thing I forgot to do was set my translation for my metric. And that's not hard to do at all. You can look this up in the documentation, but I'll just quickly jump in here and show you what you need to do in config locales English YAML. And you'll just need to put in Ian underscore Hart as the parent category, and then you can put in the name of your metric and the translation. So we're gonna go back to Hart, and oops, whoa, oh, it exploded. Oh, this is a pretty normal thing. I need to restart the real server whenever we're changing these migration or these locales for Hart. And there we go, we restarted. And now when we visit, it's going to be perfectly fine. Not only that, but it will have translated. There we go. It now says new orders. So that's exactly what we were looking for. Now this parent category here has not been translated yet, and that's actually the name of your module. So your name of your module contains all the metrics in a little drop down. So if you have multiple modules for multiple sets of metrics, they will all be contained together, stored together. So we're just going to translate this as Acme Store. And now we can see that it's been translated to exactly what we set it to. So we'll just one more time take a look at the metrics there. January to February this year. And bring it up, and there we go. And if we hover over any of the points, we'll see that it says new orders as we'd expect. And if we export the image, there we go, it's been translated. Well, that's it. And if you want to add any additional metrics, you just follow the same steps. But hope that this video has been helpful, and really looking forward to hearing any feedback, comments, and suggestions. And that's it. Thanks for watching.